joining us. It is Mayegun live. And thank you very much for joining us this hour. Please, after reading the caption of the broadcast, kindly read the description as well. See, these few steps are what will get you in to the program. Then like the broadcast, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. Just about 24 hours ago, I opened this same program. This was yesterday, reporting on the recent killings of defenseless, armless people of Riyom, where we were told that so far at the time, over 30 people, over 30 bodies were recovered after the Fulani terrorists attacked some of these communities, one after the other, from 3 a.m. until very early in the morning. And throughout that attack, throughout that invasion, there was no single military vehicle or any military team or any security outfit at all to respond to the SOS messages being sent from Riyom until the terrorists were done and gone. So the people started picking up the bodies of their loved ones. And of course, again, Tifnumbu's regime maintained the skill of their silence, making sure that without saying anything about it, it will fizzle out until the next one. A farmer in Kayama community in Kolokuma, Opokuma, sorry, I may just have mixed up the name properly, but you get what I mean. Kayama community in Bayelsa state, a farmer was attacked by alleged Fulani herdsmen on his own farm. Now, the youth of the community who have had enough took to the streets peacefully, making the demand that the Fulani and their herds and their cows should leave their community. Again, a community that has been under attack, several attacks from this same Fulani terrorists, attacking the locals, killing them, killing some of them in the process. No arrest is made and no justice for the victims, so to say. So this community decided to, as usual, where the law fails, where the law failed, the people can possibly take the laws into their own hands. Maybe not the laws, but their own destiny. So they took to the streets. They haven't even gone far from the starting point of their peaceful protest, demanding that the Fulani terrorists and their cows should leave their community. They haven't gone far when the Nigerian army ambushed them and immediately started shooting at them, as usual, to protect the cows and their others. Here.
The whole world to hear, we are trying to hold our youth body. Our youth body is trying to hold our boys' beds. The Hausa community start the attack on us. We have no option than to repel back. The whole world here. Soldiers are shooting on us. Soldiers are cheating on us. Thunder fire you! Soldiers are cheating on us. Soldiers are cheating on us. So nothing anybody. Eh? Nothing. Okay. Hey! This is not out of working. This is not out of working. You mad? This is not out of working. This is not out of working. You mad? You mad? This is not out of working.
You see, while I was watching that video before bringing it here, there was this thought on my mind, right? And that is, hang on. How do you think the rest of Africa, let's start with Africa, how do you think they actually see Nigeria in this day and time where the internet actually connects just everyone? And like you are watching this video, right? I mean, watching this broadcast right now. You are accessing this from God knows where on the surface of this earth. Meaning the information technology, right? So everybody sees what is going on in Nigeria. They read about all these Fulani, Herdsmen, killing people, kidnapping people. They will see videos of people crying, because they just killed their loved ones. How do you think the rest of Africa actually sees Nigeria when they, from far, as an African, as an African from other African countries, right? If you by any chance should be watching this video, I won't mind if you can just tell us, like, how do you see that? Like, I don't know what they told you about Nigeria, because Nigeria used to be that big brother for real. There are historical, fact and evidence to back how much influential Nigeria was in Africa back in the days, especially when other African countries were having all of their own troubles at the time. Nigeria had their own trouble, but Nigeria was so influential that she impacted on so many African countries. And I bet some of you, I don't know what they told some of you right now, or maybe what you see from far and what they told you before now, because I can imagine me from that contraption, Nigeria, reading every day about Fulani killing people in Ghana. Can you actually like imagine that this is happening in, let's say, Ghana or South Africa? I mean, see, a lot of you are like, no, it's impossible. I know. I'm just saying, like, how do you think other Africans actually sees Nigeria when they come across this and see the videos of, shattered bodies, burnt bodies, burnt properties, and it is almost like every day. Sorry, it's like I'm already in the future, yeah? Pardon me. I'll fix that. 17th, of course. I'll fix that. Anyway, because someone once said on Mayegun's Diary Political and said, the news coming from Nigeria every day are so depressing. So depressing that it is like people have been longing for a break. Something like, oh, Nigeria just eats 20,000 megawatt electricity. Oh, Nigeria just hit the milestone a year after the end of a decade-long terrorism. Now, a year after that, Nigeria has produced, I'm just saying, like, millions, tens or hundreds of millions of tons of farm produce that they have now produced even more than what they need. Those are news that you can get, right? Or news like, oh, 22 former governors, 18 present governors, 140 National Assembly members, former and present, have been sentenced to death for corruption. That would be a good news, but that would be far-fetched, right? That would be far-fetched. So let's leave that, dealing with all of them that way. But something good to come and say, oh, wow, this is meaningful. This one is good. It is so tiresome if you are not reading about them looting, wasting. Then you will see them as well, right? Defending murderous Fulani terrorists. When the terrorist attacks people, you will never see the police response, nor the military response, no matter how close they are to the scene of the attacks. Because they always have to wait for the order from above. I have never seen anything like this in my life. That Nigeria, as as indigenous as many, many people from every part that forms this particular Nigeria, you have no other tribe or other ethnic nationality that formed a militia group and started, migrating en masse to go and kill people from other places other than the Fulanis. These Fulani terrorists. So the military will wait for order from above. They will need, so even if you are being slaughtered, as we have seen many times, right? If the village is being like invaded and people are being killed, if any one of them manages to even reach out to the authority, it is just a futile effort, like effort in futility. That is what Nigeria is, because from the above, it has been set up that way. It can be changed, and that is why yesterday I was asking, I said, who then can we say is protecting the Fulani terrorists, even the Fulani herdsmen that are invading people's farms, destroying their farms, and whenever they protested that, they get attacked. Unlucky ones get killed. Do you understand that? So the Fulani terrorists themselves feels like, okay, when Boko Haram was around, because that was pretty much how everybody saw it. So how do you want us to see it now? Boko Haram is finally dead and buried officially. So who are now those powerful people in Nigeria that are more powerful than your president? Your president, more powerful than your president, enough that the federal structure continues to treat them as the first-class citizens. What do I mean by that? Majority of you will say you are proud Nigerians, proud Nigerians. Now, as a proud Nigerian, if you are in any emergency, life-threatening emergency, right? The right thing to do is to call on the supposed authority if you can, right? But It is like, no, they won't answer. Who are you going to call? Who even know their number? But the Fulanis and their cows, the armed terrorists and their guns, they don't even have to call the military or the police before they respond to defend them. How? Well, you have seen the one that just happened in Kayama. That is just one out of 1,000 of such incidents. I have evidence of elderly people being flogged in Ogun State, simply because they resisted the Fulanis from invading their communities with their cows. And somehow, the military came the following day, dragged out all these old men, brought them into the public square. They flogged them in public. And then they told them that if they try that again, what they will face next will actually be worse. And also, if for any reason the Fulani decided to attack that community, they must never call them for help. I don't know what they call them in Abeokuta. Olosan military barrack, Abi Olorunbo military barrack. I don't know what the name they give to them. Fact that happened. We have had communities where they experienced Fulani terrorist attacks. And immediately they regrouped. And they were about to launch their own reprisal, because most of the communities that these terrorists have attacked, the locals have always spotted them. They will say, oh, we spotted them. But we spotted them in those social area. In fact, they are mostly based there. They have their children, they have their wives and their family in that forest there. People always kind of locate them. So whenever they decide, okay, we are going to go after them now, boom, the military, the police, and God knows others who never showed up during the attacks being carried out by these terrorists in these communities for hours. Now, listen, the terrorist attacks in Nigeria are not just attacks that are always like flash. Whenever the Fulani terrorist attacks, they take their time. I'm talking about taking their time. That means they stay there for hours before they will finally retreat. In some places, after they retreat, few days after, they will attack again, because the survivors that ran into the bush probably will be back, trying to put together their leftovers, their burnt belongings, right? So while they are trying to put all of that together, they will attack them again. It has happened many times. So once they attack them the second time, some won't come back again. They'll just either find their relative elsewhere in Nigeria, and those who don't have a relative elsewhere in Nigeria, they just move straight to the refugee camp. That can be tens, if not hundreds of kilometers away from their own original land. Guess what? We have had it in Kaduna, where these terrorists, after killing this, the real inhabitants of these communities, the real indigenous people of these communities, they took over the land. They're actually living right there on the crime scene in Nigeria. So whenever you try to group yourself and say, anyone, for those who are physically doing that, for those who are physically kind of like saying, you know what, we're going to go after them now, the military will come. As people are crying that, oh, justice for this, justice for that, you need to arrest all the perpetrators. Boom. From those people who just survived this attack, going after these terrorists, the military will arrest them. Then they will parade them as the real attackers behind the recent attacks in that community you read in the news. They will come out and tell you that the attacks that just happened, that you read, that you saw women, men crying, telling you who attacked them. They will say, no, it's media propaganda. They will say it's some youth fighting over non-existing land. Some youth of the community are the ones who decided to come and burn down their communities, kill their women, kill their children, kill their elderly, and all of that, right? And then came back to the scene. But blame it on Fulani. This has been the modus operandi. We have seen it many times. And that is why you will never see any Fulani terrorists in their court. Because the whole structure is never to legally try them. They can't try them legally. They will tell you they've repented. You